Oh, hey folks, how you doing? It is around 11 o'clock in the morning. Um, my wife just sent me a new text. Let's see what this is all about. I don't know what this is all about. Not now. All right, it looks like they have massive rain in the Philippines, and it has flooded some parts of the Philippines real good. It's lucky my wife didn't get the bad um, flooding because it would destroy her stuff. Let's go ahead and take you through. First of all, I want to tell you, you have to be honest. And what I've realized is that my DNA has been altered because of the hundreds of thousands of roaches that are in this car. It has caused a change in my DNA. So I am actually like if you ever move to Boston, in 10 years, you're going to have that silly Boston accent, right? Or if you move to New York, you're going to have that silly New York accent. I mean, maybe not every time, but most of the time, right? So I started thinking about this. I think I'm going to wind up being, my DNA is going to be something like 99% human and 1% cockroach. It is, because I've got cockroaches in the hundreds of thousands in my car. By the way, I brushed my teeth today. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I brushed my teeth. I am ready to make the switch. Once I get into my other car, the DNA from the cockroaches should release, and I can have 100% human DNA. But we will see. All right. Now let's go ahead and let's check out the markets and everything else that's going on. Let's go ahead and get it. All right. And then we're done with the day. Because today I don't have to go in until 5 p.m. So it's only 11 o'clock now. It's 11 o'clock. So I can take a nap and get into it. By the way, good job, Timu. Thank you for the 50-gallon trash bags with the 3 mil thick. They came in, it's open, the package is open, it's okay. If I lose a bag or two, no problem. A great deal. Thank you very much. My weed eater has to be completely sealed with garbage bags and tape, or I will not take it in to my other vehicle, which I just bought. I'm not finished paying it off yet. Monday will be the day. They're going to come and take my car, and they will take it to the junkyard. And I could have gotten more, but it was just too much of a hassle. So I got only $360 for this, and I don't want to say it because who knows? I don't have my title, but they said the registration in my name will do. This car gave me good service through 2.7 years. It has been a nightmare. My DNA is now 99% human, but has been affected by the hundreds of thousands of roaches that has permeated this car. if not in the millions. So you're looking at somebody who is someone who's partly roach. So it's probably 99.8, but my DNA has been changed because I have had to placate to the roaches and adapt accordingly. So I've got probably 99% plus human DNA. You laugh, but it is the truth. If you move to Boston, within 4 or 5 years, you're going to have that silly Boston accent. Now, I go easy on the people in Boston because I lost my virginity there in that tall Sheridan, whatever it was. I went through the whole story on this on my last channel, but I won't get into the whole thing. Beautiful woman, 26 years old. I was just coming up on 18 years old. I was 17 and 99% there. I went to a Star Wars or science fiction convention in Boston, and for the love of God, be careful what you wish for, because I wound up going with my friend who was kind of a fat guy, and they were geniuses out of Chicago, and he was like doing something to change the numbers on the cell phone. There's no cell phones, it's a regular phone, and he was changing it so that if you pressed the number it would be something different. They were a strange crew, but they were from Boston, and I liked them, and they were cool, and they let me be part of their gang. And that was during the Star Wars convention crap. And I bought a booth, and I sold some stuff the first day, and I realized that it would be better off to let the people who were near me handle it and take the money and give them a part of it. So I wasn't really there. I was doing other things, fucking off, right? But it was really cool because I bought like a whole bunch of Darth Vader, a whole bunch of Luke Skywalker posters, and all this other crap. And I made my money back with it, and they did the work for the most part. They did the heavy lifting. So each day I'd come in and there was like $35, $40 worth of product that they sold for me because I wasn't there. But it was a great experience. It was awesome. If you ever are not able to meet a girl, you go to the science fiction conventions and you will meet a girl, I promise you. That's the truth. So, oh my God, I was still a virgin, right? Like I fucked around with girls a little bit, this and that, but I was still like a virgin. And the last day that I was there at that science fiction convention, I went and I had a guy that went with me. He was a cool guy. He was cool. He was fat, but he was, like messing around with the telephones. We had no cell phones back there in 1980. And he was messing around with he took apart the phones and made the 4 a 1 and the 1 a 6, and it was all fucked up. Okay? But they were cool guys. They were from Chicago, is what I was told. And I stayed with them at the Sheridan over there. I don't know what the deal was. I can't even be sure. All I know, it was a hotel, and we were up on like the 28th floor. It was cool. And I didn't have a hotel myself, but my stepfather's daughter, Abby, told me I'd have a really great time if I went to Boston. So fortunately, I didn't drive it. I drove at that time, but I went up with somebody because the streets are all like one-way streets up in Boston. It's all fucked up. So, we went to this thing that was like the pinnacle of the experience of Star Wars. So they had this thing where men and women would come out and show their stuff. They'd strut their stuff. And one woman came out, and she was 26 years old, it just so happens. And she was what you call, I think it's called a fan dancer. And she blocked, as she pulled her feathers out, these big giant feathers, she blocked her nether areas, but she was absolutely magnificent. The only problem with that girl is that she had bad teeth. And when I say bad teeth, it makes my teeth look good. She had fucked up teeth. She had I think she had either a boyfriend or a husband, and she did not want him. She wanted to play the field for the, the time of the science fiction convention. So what happened was, I waited on her because I saw her during this performance of her fan dance. I went to my fat buddy there and I said that there were like a whole bunch of geeks. They were all like computer geeks of 1980 style. And I went to them and I said, Jesus Christ, I'd sure like to see what the hell was underneath that, She was so beautiful. Careful what you wish for. And then it went on, and him and I watched that, and he was with these other guys that were all geniuses from Chicago. And we went back to the hotel, and then I went off and I did my own thing. But I bumped into the girl because she stayed on the same floor that we did. And it was their hotel room. I just stayed with them. And they were really nice guys. They were really good because I could have never afforded that. It's probably like $150 a night, right? So the girl, I couldn't believe it. She passed by me and I said, wait a minute. I said, you're the girl from the fan dance, aren't you? From the performance? And she said, yes. And I kept trying to woo her because I saw her on the walkway, like at around 6, 7 o'clock at night. I said, let's go play Asteroids or Donkey Kong or something. That was the beginning of the video game thing. And she said, basically, thanks, but no thanks. And I couldn't make any contact with her. But when I went up to the guy's place over there, that was their place, she was the neighbor there on the 24th floor or something. I don't know. Don't ask me. John Hancock Building, Sheridan, I don't know. I don't remember. And when I saw her, she said basically I was a nice guy. Basically. But I was only 17 and 99% because my birthday was in September and that was at the end of August of 1980. So she said, come on over, and we did the hibbity-dibbity in her room. And I just simply could not control myself, and I wound up inoculating, for lack of a better term, with her on because we were I was in my clothes and she was in her clothes, and I kind of dry inoculated. So she said, hang on. I said, I've got a boyfriend that I don't like, or a husband, whatever the fuck he was. And he was trying to commit suicide in the neighboring room. And this is when I asked my genius friends to help me so that I could, quote, get laid. And they said, we'll take care of it. I think they knew each other because they were from Chicago as well. All those guys they dressed up to look like Star Wars characters, and they did a good job. They were really good. And so then they took care of it. And the guy was trying to commit suicide in the bathtub, locking the door of the bathroom in the Sheraton, whatever that was, the big hotel that was 30 stories high. So they went over and they took the hinges off the door. I still remember this. And they were able to go in, get his dumb ass out of there. And what happened to him, I don't remember. But they got him the fuck out of there. And about 20 minutes later, that beautiful little girl, 26 years old, with an absolute stunning body. And she was pretty too. Brunette, of course. She came over, she said, come to my place in about 10 minutes. 15 minutes. Give me about 15 minutes. Now, I had already inoculated. So, I went over to her room, which she had by herself. And that fucking retard, that drug retard, did whatever the fuck he was going to do. And they carried him out to the... I don't know what the fuck they did with him. But the woman was alone. And the woman was a stunning, beautiful woman. But problem was, her teeth were fucked up like mine, even worse. But her body was incredible. And she was pretty. So 15 minutes, she called me back. She said, come over. And she was in like a room, not with that fucking retard. She was probably married to him. Like this is how women are, right? So I went over to that room. And I fucked around with women, but I never really did it. So I was still a virgin. And it was my rite of passage. It doesn't always happen like this. But there is a rite of passage for every man. For every boy that goes into manhood. The men who can't do it are relegated as gay. And they can't do it. They can't get over that wall. But I did. So she called me over. And I remember walking into the hotel room, and it was this big fucking king-size bed. And she pulled the sheets back, and she said... She didn't say anything, actually. I got the drift. And I went in there, and because I had already inoculated, like 30 minutes before or whatever it was, I had tremendous power. So, for the next 2 hours, I was able to perform. And I even shocked myself, truly. I said, my God, what am I, Superman here? Because she kept reaching apex, for lack of a better term. So maybe after 4 or 5 of these apex, I just kind of inoculated and went to sleep. And that was at around 2 o'clock in the morning. Because it was late. Then I woke back up at 3 o'clock or 3:30. And then it was a repeat performance. And I fell asleep. And I woke up again at 5:45 in the morning. And she was gone. Unfortunately, she saw my driver's license, which said, I didn't have much on me. I didn't have much money or anything, but, I had my shorts and my shirt. And she went in my shorts and shirt, and she saw that I was 17 years old, and she said, I'm out of here. So she went to the airport. She didn't even kiss me goodbye. She just left. And for good measure, she took my pants and my ID to make sure that she couldn't be stopped at the airport for raping a 17-year-old. She was 26 after all. She probably hooked up with that fucking retard. And I got up in the morning and I said, like, what the hell is going on? First of all, I wanted to see her. She was long gone. And I got up and I had no fucking clothes. She left me my underwear, my jogging shorts. In the 80s, we had jogging shorts. That's it. So she took my pants and everything else, my ID, and I had to get up and walk around that Sheraton hotel, whatever the hell that was. It had businesses in there too, whatever. And here I am getting up with a pair of gym shorts on, and I went into the elevator and I was greeted by like 20 people on the elevator, and I knew that there was a pool there. So I said, take me to the pool. And that was on the top of the building, like the 28th floor, 30th floor. So here I am in a pair of gym shorts with, I swear to God, nothing else. And I went up to the 30th floor, or whatever it was, the top place. And I know you think I inoculated. I did not. I went up to the pool area there on the top floor. And I just fucking laid down for like 2 hours until those guys got up. Because they were going to leave that day on Monday. So they had like a 4 o'clock flight. So at like 10 o'clock in the morning, I got up and I went back down to the room and I said, look, that chick fucking took my pants. She took my ID, everything. Can you give me a pair of pants to wear? And those guys were super cool. And they gave me like a pair of pants and a shirt. And then I went and met my stepsister, Abby. And she said, we're going back home to Long Island. And I said, cool. So we drove there. And I never heard anything more of it. Could there be a little Paulie Jr. there? Could be. Could be. All right, who knows? That happened one other time before in the Philippines, too, I'm sorry to say. I'm ashamed to say, but that kind of happened. The Filipinos want to donate money to the church. So there was a girl there that was very willing to have sex with me, but she wanted the money to go to the church. So we finished that financial arrangement, and there could be a Paulie Jr. there in the Philippines. I could not check. So I am something of a mystery and an enigma. All right, let's go ahead and give you a real brief rundown of the news. That's Paul's how he lost his virginity baloney. And let's go ahead. All right, it's 23 minutes, so we can't go anymore. So that's story time, 1980. August of 1980. And the only bad thing about it was that it kind of set the tone for what I think women would be like, and it was not realistic in any way. That was a really rare oddity, and it did not happen again. You had to work to get laid, believe me. Down here in Florida especially. Take care. Love you guys. Hey, I come out with the most realistic stuff on this channel that you can ever imagine. Okay? Monday there will be a change. Stick around, subscribe, be nobody. Love you, and I will see you soon.